Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. The video I'm making today is all about Norwegian Cruise Lines. There are a bunch of rumors circulating around Wall Street right now that the public company Norwegian wants to raise additional capital. And Goldman Sachs has been hired by Norwegian to explore options to find ways to bring additional capital in. Now, the amount of money we're talking about, I'm not exactly sure, except I can tell you that Norwegian did raise back in early March $1.5 billion of additional cash. They mortgaged a couple of their ships and brought in $1.5 billion in cash. Now, that is enough money to keep the company running without a single dime coming in the front door from revenues, probably until about the summertime, maybe the fall. But as we now know, cruise lines were thinking that they would be sailing again in April. Then they revised their schedules, telling us that we'll probably be back in May. Now we're being told by cruise lines that it's at least into June or late June. And from what I'm seeing coming out of various areas, it really isn't looking good until July or even August, and that may yet be delayed again. Canada, for example, won't allow a cruise ship into any of its ports right now until July 1, and that is tentative. That could be changed at any moment. So Alaska cruising season is hanging by a thread. The New England fall season is hanging by a thread, and we may find that the first area that cruise lines can actually sail to might be the Caribbean, but that may not be towards the end of this year or into the new year. We're going to have to see if this plays out. Now, Norwegian has 28 ships total in its fleet. They own Oceania and own Regent Seven Seas, as well as their own brand. They have 33,000 plus employees, but they're right now rapidly getting that number a lot lower. They are sending crews home. They're either flying them home or they're sailing them home. And it wouldn't surprise me that in the next month or so, the cruise line will be down to about 10,000, 12,000 employees. They want to cut their costs as quickly as possible, as much as possible. Unfortunately and realistically, the 28 ships that they have, if they want them to be able to be brought back into service within, say, 30 days, they have to keep them running warm, and that means they have to have a couple of hundred crew members on board each of these ships. They have to have the engineers maintaining the engines and all of the engineers looking after the air conditioning systems, the plumbing systems, the water systems. The kitchens have to be kept operating properly. You can't have anything really shut down because then you're looking at perhaps a 3-month restart. You don't want to do that. So it's going to cost this cruise line and all others a lot of cash to basically be on standby and wait for the word so that they can start cruising again. Now, the company itself, from a financial position, the shares were as high as $60 a share for the common stock a few months ago. They're trading now in the $11 range. There are 213 million shares outstanding. There are 5 shareholders that have 5% or more of the company. Each of these shareholders, however, are either pension funds, mutual fund administrative companies. They are not cruise line specialists. Vanguard Group, Capital World Investors, T. Rowe Price, BlackRock, and Janus Henderson are the 5 largest shareholders of the company, and they own about 35% of the entire entity. There is no one person that owns enough stock in this company to run it the way they want to run it. The president of the company, Frank Del Rio, he has a million odd shares of the company, and his board of directors combined, they have maybe 2.7 million shares combined, 1.3% of the stock. They don't have enough stock to really take it in their direction. They need the help of financial backers. And so the company has turned to Goldman Sachs to see what can be done. Carnival just last month raised about $7 billion in cash, and it cost them a huge price. They had to pay 12% interest on $4 billion in bonds. They had to pay almost 6% interest in short-term notes. And then they had to issue stock from their treasury at 8 bucks a share, and their shares used to be $55 back in December. They only got $8 a share raising cash for their company. The case of Norwegian, they're in a weaker state. They're not as big and as powerful. They're the third largest cruise line in the world, but they may have to issue stock as low as $5 a share if they want to issue shares to raise cash. And $1 billion in the front door would mean a 200 million share issuance at $5 a pop. That would literally dilute the existing shareholders by 50%. In effect, we'd have now 413 million shares out instead of 213 million shares out. That is problematic. If they want to issue bonds, they may have to pay a higher interest rate than Carnival paid. So they may have to be paying 15 to 18 to 20%. That's a credit card rate just to survive a year. This is not a good thing. The company doesn't make that kind of profit on a gross margin, and so it's not a good deal for any party. Could they do a combination preferred share offering, perhaps with an optional conversion into common stock? Well, they could try to offer it, but I don't know if there's any takers to take the deal. What the cruise line might need is another cruise line to take them over, and they might need to merge, and that's where perhaps MSC might be a possible partner, or I was going to say Richard Branson and his group, but I think Mr. Branson has enough issues right now keeping his airlines afloat because they too are shut down. And so maybe Viking Ocean and Viking River Cruises might be a potential partner, but I don't know how deep their pockets are and how strong their banking connections are. But as each day goes by, if these shares keep dropping in price, and it's possible that Norwegian shares will drop in value, it gets cheaper and cheaper to buy control of this company, and eventually someone might take the shot and step up with $1 billion, take over control of this corporation and run it the way they see fit. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll stay on top of the story. Hopefully this will be done. The Goldman Sachs people I know are working the phones. They have about 30 to 60 days to put something together. Something probably will be put together. I suspect that. But it'll be interesting to see what the details of the deal are going to be. And, well, we'll follow it for sure. In the meantime, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your support of my channel, for subscribing to TWB, giving my videos thumbs ups, and joining my Facebook group page. Also following me on Instagram for Traveling with Bruce. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll talk to you later, everybody. Bye for now.